Let's bring on the director of athletics at the University of Miami, who is not in Miami.
Oh.
That'd be Blake James, who got beautiful scenery. Must be up there in Maine, chilling and grilling. It's probably about 65 degrees. Blake, first of all, it's always a pleasure having you on the show. I'm assuming everything's great in Maine.
Hey, everything is great. Good to be on with you guys. Really love the entrance music as well. Always good to do a little Miami sound going there to start us off.
Yeah. Look, we got lots of business to do here, but I wanna get back to some in-house stuff. You have established now the Athletic Directors Society at the U, and given kind of where the economics of college athletics are and things of that nature, you're trying to stay in the game with facility enhancements. I know you got a lot of things planned here. Why the Athletic Directors Society encompass all those facility enhancements? Is that kind of the bottom line?
Yeah, again, I think it's maybe easy, and easy isn't the right word. My development people wouldn't be happy with that. But when you have a project that's real specific to go get that people are real interested in giving to, those campaigns can tend to have a lot of success, or at least for our program. But there's a lot of ongoing capital needs that we need support on beyond the annual fund dollars. And I think this really creates a vehicle to allow people to make an impact for the program on a number of different capital projects that maybe aren't a specific focus of a capital campaign that would be of interest to an individual. This is really going to help the program overall, from some of our Olympic sports and what we need to do on that front, to even some things that we need to do with football or baseball or men's women's basketball, some of our more prominent sports. So it's an opportunity for people who have a passion to the university to continue just to make really a great impact on what we're able to do as a program, because as you guys touched on, and I know you talk about all the time, just where we are in college athletics, the bar continues to raise, and we need to make sure we're doing everything we can to keep up with not only those schools in the ACC, but around the country.
Blake, what do you get a sense of the temperature with folks coming out of a COVID pandemic who really haven't had a chance to travel? Now they're starting to get out a little bit. As far as fundraising and dollars and season tickets and all that stuff, what's the temperature like for the Miami fan base?
I think there's a lot of excitement. Again, there's still some that I think have some hesitation, want to see how things play out. But I think as more and more people get the vaccine, which I know will be a big help in terms of what the fall sports season looks like, there's excitement. I think we'll see people eager and looking forward to being back in the stadium. As you guys know, we open up September 4th in Atlanta against Alabama. I'm anticipating a full house there and a lot of passionate Hurricane fans watching us take on the Crimson Tide. And I think we'll see that throughout the year, both at our facility in Miami at Hard Rock Stadium and at the places we stop along the way in the ACC.
Yeah, there's no question. I think a lot of people are excited about getting back to what the normal college football environment looks like. Well, when the clock strikes midnight tomorrow night, you are going to be in the new world of name, image, and likeness as a law. You're one of a half dozen states that are going to be impacted right away by this on the 1st of July. I kind of could go about three different ways, but just tell me what your initial thoughts are about what you think Thursday will be like for your program and maybe other schools in the state of Florida, Blake.
I think you'll see a lot of things happen on Thursday. Again, remember, we've had the benefit that kids at the schools in the state of Florida have known for over a year now that this is going to happen on July 1st. And so they've had time to, I think, be planning and preparing and getting ready to take advantage of it. Obviously, with the news yesterday that the NCAA came out with, all the students in the country are going to be able to have some type of name, image, and likeness program that their institution puts in place. But our kids have had that benefit of knowing for a year there's an opportunity there. In Miami, obviously, an international city, I think there'll be a number of opportunities. With that said, I don't think we're going to see 400 kids signing major endorsement deals and sponsorships or anything like that. But I do think that the law that was put in place in Florida will do a good job in letting kids capitalize on their name, image, and likeness.
Blake, obviously, the state of Florida's had a head start knowing what July 1 was about. What was your take on the NCAA news yesterday for everybody outside that you really basically don't have to worry about? I at least assume you don't have to worry about it.
Well, I'm still in the camp that we need to do something through our leaders in Washington D.C. And have a national standard. Again, as you look at what came out yesterday, it's schools that are in states that have laws have to follow those laws. Schools that aren't in states that don't have laws yet basically to create their rules, and so to have a bunch of different rules out there in terms of what kids can and can't do. I just don't think is the right platform. I've been in conversation a number of times with our representatives in Washington D.C. about the importance of a national standard. As good of a job as I think the Florida law does in creating an opportunity while still doing some things to, I guess I'll say, put some guardrails in place to protect both the students and also college athletics. I think we all got to be operating by the same set of rules.
Blake, I'm going to kind of guess that you and your colleagues in the ACC are pretty unified on wanting something to be done on Capitol Hill here. It seems that Bubba Cunningham's been about that. I think I've heard others talk about it from within the conference footprint. Is that right?
100%. One of the things I think that I've been most pleased with when you look at what we've gone through the last 15 months really is really been just great alignment in really everything that's come at us from COVID to name, image, and likeness. First credit Commissioner Swafford and his leadership, and now on to Commissioner Phillips, our president's chancellors on the COVID front, the medical advisory group, and then the athletic directors from COVID to NIL. There's just been great alignment and really the importance and the belief from everyone in our league that we need some help from the national level to make sure we're all playing by the same rules.
Blake, I'm going to go on a couple different paths with you here. The news about what happened to NC State's baseball program in Omaha was just, that's one of the all-time gut punches, right? But the protocols laid out from the medical officials and experts was pretty consistent, and the NCAA really followed it to a T. Do you sense that there's going to be any conversation that those protocols could be adjusted for 21, 22, given the fact that where we were a year ago in COVID versus where we are now is a different, granted, we're still in a pandemic, but it feels like we're in a different stage. Do you think there will be adjustments for 21, 22? And on part two of that is, from a vaccination standpoint for student athletes, how do you think that's going to be handled by whether it be the University of Miami or anybody else moving forward about vaccinations for student athletes for the next sports calendar year?
Yeah, first, I want to congratulate Boo and Coach Avant and the incredible run. What an exciting team to watch in Omaha. And obviously, everyone who was cheering for NC State, disappointed that it had to end the way it did for them. To your question in the bigger picture on COVID, yeah, we're going to continue to evolve. I'm confident that when you look at where we are today versus where we were 1 year ago, I know I was probably sitting here in the same spot talking to you guys about could we have a season of those different types of things, and we were able to do it, and I felt confident at that point that we would. It went and happened. The ACC did it better than anyone. We played more games than anyone, but it is going to continue to evolve. The vaccination question is I think a challenging one in that different states are at different points in how they address it, and so I think we'll see different programs, really have different approaches to the vaccination, and so could that create some challenges? I'm sure it will when you have maybe one team that's 100% vaccinated and you have another team that is only 60%. But honestly, I think it's an advantage for the team that's completely vaccinated. We're working with all of our student athletes to get vaccinated, but it's their choice. And, as much as we try to educate and let them know that we believe it's the right thing to do, that's something that we have to leave to them to make that decision. Obviously, it's under emergency use authorization right now, and I think there's some questions on that. And so again, we just try to provide as much education as possible, and then provide the opportunity for those to get vaccinated. But to answer your question, I think those that are fully vaccinated, those teams that are fully vaccinated, probably will be at an advantage to those that aren't at that. And that's just something that teams will have to live with. And we did it last year and got the majority of our games in. But it's something that, as you said, we're still in a pandemic and have to recognize we're going to be dealing with it for, through another sports season, I'm sure, to some level.
Blake, I read about this the other day, and it had nothing to do with sports. I want to preface that. But you mentioned state-to-state regulations and vaccination. when you get onto an institutional campus, you're a private institution. You've got public institutions in the state of Florida. There could be a wide swath of the way vaccinations are going to be handled with just campus enrollment, period. Correct? I mean, your campus might be different than FIU across the road or up the road at Stetson near Tampa or whatever the case may be, right?
Yeah, no, again, I think you're right. There's obviously an approach that's been laid out by our leadership in the state as to what the approach is on vaccinations. And then you have the private schools, the public schools, and everyone has to follow that guidance. But then again, I think they'll each apply it to their own institution as to, what approach they're going to take within the boundaries of the law.
Blake, what was your initial reaction to the proposal of a college football playoff going to 12 teams?
I wasn't surprised at the expansion. The number 12 at the first, caught me. But again, I come from an FCS background where we had 16, so I don't think it's out of the realm of is it too many? Again, we made 16 work at the FCS, and they still make 16 work at the FCS level. At least I believe they're still at 16. And so again, I think it's something that, from what I've heard, and I haven't seen the full deck on the presentation yet. But from everything I've heard from those that have seen it, this is a number and an approach that really makes sense given where we've gone. I mean, from the minute we went from every bowl maybe being a national championship game to one national championship to now two semis in a championship, I think this was a natural evolution of where it's to go. I think a lot of things that we have as leaders now to figure out is what's the right situation for our students, and is that looking at an additional bye week, a difference in terms of the number of regular season games. How do you spread things out, and just the safety and well-being of our students? And I'm confident we'll get there and we'll go forward. And this will be something that I know the fan base will love.
Blake, you've got a unique perspective. You've already mentioned it. You spent a long time at FCS institutions. That playoff does push it to 15 if you go all the way through, because they only play 11 regular season games. And while the math may work that way, I also know, too, that there's not an FBS athletic director alive that wants to give back a game, home or away, in the regular season. So do we have to find that fine line, if you will, about how this works if we go to 16?
In my opinion, yeah. I mean, there's got to be a fine line. I think there's even a possibility in a certain scenario you could have two teams that play 17 games. And those are things I think that we have to look through all the different scenarios and then really come up with what's best. As you said, FCS has done it with two teams being at 15 games for a number of years. And it's something that we'll just have to continue to really massage and work. And the other thing, and you guys know this, you've been covering college sports enough, what we end up with here doesn't mean it's going to be there forever. Something will happen that will change, and it'll look different. And we'll be on another call at some point down the road having that conversation.
By the way,
you're right about that.
Just curious, when you go up to Maine, what are the chances you run into a couple black bears up there? That ever happened to you there on the deck? No black bears?
Ironically, I was walking my dogs yesterday, and the neighbor here told me that he just saw a black bear cross the path I was walking last week. So I have not seen one yet. I've seen some deer. I've seen a fox, a lot of wild, but fortunately no black bears yet, or coyotes.
Well, hey, you be careful up there, boss man. Listen, we need you. All right, we can't be up there walking the hounds and the black bears go crazy. That's a problem. That's an issue.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Blake, always great. Thanks for the time. Enjoy the pine tree state. It looks like it's really rough up there this morning. Looks tough for you.
No, it's here. Let me see if I can give you a little shot here of the lake. Yeah. Did I get the lake in there?
Oh,
maybe?
Nice.
Oh, really?
Look at you.
There we go.
Oh, really? We just got that at the end?
I'm going to find a way to enjoy it.
Yeah,
good to be on with you guys.
Hey, Blake, I got to be honest with you. I thought when you were going to hold that up, we're just going to see like a vast forest and maybe a black bear, peeking out through the trees. I was not expecting the lake. I really wasn't. That's spectacular. Man, that is
Holy
nice.
Cow. Who's got it better than you?
Nice time to be here. So I'm enjoying it. Enjoying the week. Actually, put a little thing out there at the Fenway Bowl. I'm going to head down to Boston here shortly and go meet our partners from the Fenway Bowl and take in a Red Sox game tonight. So go Sox. And
Tough day.
Wow.
Tough day, Pack. Tough day.
Hey, Blake, we appreciate the invite, but we're good. We'll catch you in Charlotte.
Thanks, Blake. Yeah.
I'll see you
We'll
guys
let
in a
you know
couple
how
weeks in
that,
Charlotte.
You got it.
Yeah,
Safe travels.
We'll see you. Oh, you can count on it. Yeah. Want to hear all the highlights of the Fenway trip. All right. Blake
Yeah, happy
James,
4th of July,
Athletics
guys.
Director at Miami.